If the Gita is there, focus only on Gita. All else is just stories. Gita is not a story. Gita is a philosophical document of the highest order. It is not storytelling.
Acharya ji, in today's camp, the participants had the opportunity to go through the mystic poetess Lalleshwari. They had this mystic as one of their activities in the camp. So Shirin has inquired. She is asking, Pranam Acharya ji, for the first time I have read Lalleshwari in the camp, and I must say that all her poems have touched me deeply, as once Ashtavakra Gita had touched. All she has said is very intense and coming from her life experiences. There is one poem that did touch me quite deeply, and few verses from that I am writing below within quotes. Would you understand what oneness is? It has turned me into nothingness. Though He is the one, alone and all, yet I am caught in the war of two. Though He has neither color nor form, yet I am caught in the world of forms. She is asking, Acharya ji, can you please guide me how can I understand that which is one and also be in this world of forms? When I see a cobra, I can hardly say that I am one with the cobra because there is an overpowering fear. Shall I want to be formless? Shall I wait to be formless so that I can realize that all is one, or there is another way as well? Pranam.
In the mathematics is direct. The equations are simple. You are taking x is equal to z. The equations are saying x is equal to y. You don't have to be one with the cobra. You have to be one with Shiva. Laldev is saying that so great is that oneness, it turned me into nothingness. You get what she means? I had such tremendous love for the one that I got emptied of myself, and this myself is the entire world. What else are we full of? What else is this false I composed of? In general, we are many, many thousands, right? We are composed of the thousands of influences upon us, aren't we? So who are we? The millions. Within us does not sit the single one. Within us sit the millions. This is called the mind. This is called fragmentation. In no way are we one. We are a multitude. We are a crowd. And the crowd is an utterly disharmonious crowd. Every member of the crowd is at odds with the other one. So that's where we stand, full of just too much. And that which we are full of is quite quarrelsome. The different bits and pieces of the world present within us just don't like each other, just can't reconcile with each other. That is what is called inner strife or conflict. And man lives like that. And then comes Lalleshwari's Shiva. The one. And so great is the attraction of the ego towards that one that the ego totally forgets the millions. The millions are gone, nothing remains. That's the relation between oneness and nothingness. If there is one and just one you fall in love with, you get emptied of the millions and nothing remains. You don't have to be one with the cobra. You have to forget the cobra. Okay? What do the other lines read?
The verse says, Acharya ji, would you understand what oneness is? It has turned me into nothingness.
Would you understand what oneness is? It has turned me into nothingness. Is this bit clear? Okay, now.
It has turned me into nothingness. Though he is one, alone and all, yet I am caught in the war of two.
Right. Which are these two? One and the millions. These constitute the two. One and the millions. These constitute the two. Or you could say, even among these millions, there is a lot of conflict. So every pair from this huge set of millions is at war with the other. Are you getting it? Is this clear? No? Okay. Repeat the verse.
Though he is one, alone and all, yet I am caught in the war of two.
The one worth loving is just one. But look at me, the silly one. There is only one who is worthy of my affections. Right? And who is that? He is Lalleshwari's Shiva. My affection should be directed only towards that one. And yet, look at the little me, the stupid me. I place him against all these. And then I create two. I say, oh, there is a conflict between him and John. Him and the new car. Him and my thoughts and concepts. Though he is the only one, yet look at my stupidity. I am caught in the conflict of two. As if the other ones matter. As if the other ones have any existence. As if the other ones are worth looking at. All my attention must be directed only towards the one. But I don't have that kind of love, neither discipline. And when neither love nor discipline are there, then there is just scattering. Sometimes you belong to this, sometimes you belong to that. But you never belong to the one. And if you do not belong to the one, then there is a continuous, perpetual and always hungry need to belong to this, that, or this, that, or that, that. Is it clear now? Then?
Though he has neither color nor form, yet I am caught in the world of forms.
I ought to love the one who is formless, nameless. I, in fact, do truly love the one who is formless, nameless. And yet, my forgetfulness is such that I get entangled with names and forms. And thereby I bring suffering upon myself. it has to be remembered that all is due to Him. But none of this is Him. And we make this stupid mistake again and again, over and over. All is from Him, but none of this is Him. He is the foundation of these many, but these many are not Him. Are you getting it? What is the use of these many then? If to you one or a few of these many can become a gateway to Him, then they are useful. Otherwise, they are no substitute for Him. Truth is many, but the many are not truth. In other words, truth is many, but there are not many truths. Are there many truths? Are there many truths? No. But truth is many. The ego, the foolish I, forgets this distinction and therefore gets lost in the many. It gets entangled in samsara. And samsara has a certain attraction because samsara is coming from Him. Because the world is coming from Him, so the world has a rub of Him. The world has a little bit of a fragrance of Him. The world is able to sometimes offer a glimpse of Him. But that is the utmost that the world can give you, a glimpse. A faint smell. A faint reverberation. The world cannot be the real thing. The world can at most be a reminder of the real thing. We confuse the instrument with the end. The world is to be used as an instrument. The world is not the end. The world is used to be the vehicle that will carry you to your love, your beloved. The world is to be used as the vehicle that will carry you to your beloved. The world cannot become the beloved. It's almost like fixing up a date. Calling up an Ola and then making out with the Ola driver. How neat does this sound? You don't have Ola in France, right? Uber. Uber you have. Okay. So you set up a date for 5 p.m. And the Uber arrives at 4:30. And then you enter the Uber and the damn driver is so hot that you forget the beloved and start making out with the driver, that too, in the cab. That's how we live. We just forget that the world is the vehicle meant to carry us to the beloved. We get infatuated with the Uber drivers. No offense meant to Ola or Uber. I mean, we have an Ola chap sitting here. So. And you know, when you are going to meet your beloved, then the world appears beautiful, does it not? the entire mood is bright and colorful, right? You have set up a date. You're so cheerful. The entire inner chemistry is on a high. And when the entire inner chemistry is on a high, then the Uber driver will appear uber attractive. You forget that the driver is appearing attractive only because your mood is good, only because you have decided to meet the beloved. Are you getting it? So the Ola driver is basking in the brightness of the beloved. That you totally forget. If you are to go for a funeral, would you get similarly attracted to the driver? Why? Because your mood is somber. You won't even look at the driver, right? Because you are almost in tears. The cab is gloomy. But when the beloved's presence is around, then even the Ola driver starts appearing attractive, and we forget that. We think that it is something about the Uber driver that makes him attractive. There is nothing in the Uber driver. Even the Uber driver is appearing attractive because of the reflected glory that he is receiving from the beloved. He is shining in second-hand light. Is he not? Would you like the same person if you meet him at another place on another occasion? No, you would not. You would not. I'm explaining how the world manages to cheat you, how the world manages to appear so attractive that it presents itself as a substitute for the one. Okay, take another example. You go to a hotel, a 5-star hotel, right? It's a 5-star hotel, you know that. And there, if you meet even a 20-year-old, 22-year-old, or 25-year-old on the hotel floor, the fellow is working as a hotel staff. Do you see that you are respectful to him? Why are you respectful to him? Because of some of his personal qualities? No. Because he is basking in the glory of the 5-star hotel. But we forget that this fellow holds any importance because he is present in the hotel. Remove the hotel. Meet that fellow on the street or on the railway station. Would you care 2 hoots about him? Would you? No. But then it might happen that one of these young chaps might take you aside and say, you know, this hotel is not quite a good place. And you believe him. Why do you believe him? Because he appears quite credible. Why does he appear credible? Because the hotel is a good place. Wait. Let's revisit the logic. The fellow is telling you the hotel is not a good place. And you believe him. Why do you believe him? Because he appears credible, believable. Why does he appear believable? Because he is in the hotel. So what? The hotel is a good place. But just now he told you that the hotel is not a good place and you believed him. From where is he drawing his credentials? From the goodness of the hotel. From where is the fellow drawing his qualification? How is he even eligible to talk to you? Because he is present in the hotel. But you totally forget that. We forget that because the fellow is present as a person in front of us and the hotel is an abstraction. Correct? The hotel is not a person. The hotel is an abstraction. This fellow who is talking to you is in flesh and blood, and we are very, very identified with flesh and blood. So the entire credit worthiness that the hotel has gets transferred to the representative of the hotel. And the representative of the hotel becomes very attractive, very credit worthy. And using his credit worthiness, he can convince you that the hotel is a bad place. That's what the samsara does. That's how it takes you away from Shiva. Are you seeing the entire process? Are you seeing the entire process? You know, once Keshav Chandra Sen met Ramakrishna. And Keshav Chandra Sen was an atheist. He did not believe in the scriptures or even in God. Obviously not in Kali. Now Keshav Chandra Sen is a great orator, a debater par excellence, and he is convincing Ramakrishna there is no God. And Ramakrishna is saying, Ramakrishna is no orator. He's a simple man. And then a crowd gathers around. It's an occasion, two prominent personalities of Calcutta are meeting. And now Sen is delivering argument after argument, matchless argument, proving that God does not exist. And every time Sen comes up with a brilliant argument, Ramakrishna starts clapping. And not only that, he starts dancing. He says, wow, fantastic, fantastic. And the crowd is getting both convinced and desperate. The crowd is getting convinced that probably Keshav is right. There is no God. And also getting desperate because Ramakrishna is almost acting like a clown. He is not refuting. And after Sen has exhausted all his ammunition, Ramakrishna says, he is the one who enabled you to give so many arguments. So every time you give a brilliant argument, you are just proving he is. Now come on, give a few more arguments. That's it. We forget that all the arguments against God are coming from God. We forget that even all the arguments against God, all the arguments against Lalleshwari's Shiva are coming from Shiva. Without Shiva, will you have the capacity to argue? Without Shiva, will you have the capacity to argue? How will you argue? How will you argue? We forget to ask the hotel chap, without the hotel, would you be in a position to talk to me? Who are you? Who would listen to you? What's your qualification? What's your eligibility? What's your worth in life? We totally forget that. Why? Because Shiva is formless and the world enchants us with shapes and forms and colors. Because the hotel is an abstraction and the hotel chap stands in front of us as a fellow in flesh and blood. It is very easy to miss the ubiquitous. God you cannot see because He is everywhere. In the hotel lobby, you are being convinced that the hotel is terrible. Hello. In the hotel lobby, in the pleasurable environment of the hotel sofa, in the silent premises, using the nice air conditioning and everything, you are being convinced that the hotel is a terrible place. But because you are totally surrounded by the hotel, so you cannot see the hotel. Just as God is ubiquitous, so you totally miss Him. Are you getting it? We are clever people. We search for that which is to be found only somewhere. If something is too easily available to us, we miss its worth. That's the thing with truth or Shiva. Too easily available. In fact, not only too easily available, impossible to miss. If something is impossible to miss, how will you ever get it? If something is difficult to get, chances are bright that you will somehow obtain it. In fact, the best way to make something inaccessible to you is to make it omnipresent, ubiquitous. If you hide it somewhere, it would be dug out. You see, something is written on a piece of paper. It can be read. Burn the piece of paper. Let each molecule be dispersed into the atmosphere. Now, where are the paper molecules? Where are they? They are all around you, but now you will totally miss them. That's how the technique of burning works, does it not? It doesn't really take anything away from you. It just makes everything available to you in a very wide way. Miss it. What all is there in this room? You will talk of the camera, you will talk of the pots and the plants, you will talk of the gadgets and the machinery and the people and the clothes and the mattress and all these things. Only way later will you bother to say space. What is there in this room? Who would want to say space? Because it is just too freely available. And it is not only within this room, it is also outside this room. In fact, space is not within this room is within space. So you will miss space. God is like space. Terribly easy to miss. Tremendously difficult to love. Who wants to love space? What do you love within this room? Who would say space? Who would say space? But you don't see that without space, not only will nothing exist inside this room, even this room would not exist. Who wants to be grateful to empty space? Anybody? Who wants to carry empty space back home? Nobody. Why? Because there is no need. Space cannot be missed. If it is here, it is there as well. That's the God problem. That's what Lalleshwari is addressing here. Remember, Shireen, anything that appears attractive to you in the world is attractive only by grace of God. If the thing is so attractive, how attractive would be the one who makes the thing so attractive? Now, can the thing be superior to the one the thing comes from? Can you remember this? No thing can be superior to the one the thing comes from. But things, especially if they are conscious creatures, have their own minds, their own agendas. The thing itself might start convincing you that I am superior than the one I am coming from. And that is not done very explicitly. That is done very implicitly. You make yourself attractive to the other. What are you doing? You are telling the other, look at me, right? When you make yourself attractive to the other, you will not explicitly, loudly, in words say, forget God. When you make yourself attractive to the other, are you openly saying to the other, forget God? You are not. But by presenting yourself as very attractive, please see what is it that you are doing. You are indirectly telling him, I am the one. If you are the one, what is the need to remember the one? But that's what we do. We indirectly present ourselves as substitute to God. And obviously, we'll never be grateful enough to say that if I can open my mouth today, it is by grace of God. Had he not been there, who was I to even open my mouth? The gist of the story is, when you are going to the temple, avoid Ubers. And even if you have to ring up an Uber, avoid looking too much at the drivers. And even if you have to somehow look at the drivers, avoid making out with them. Many of us are infested with this terrible syndrome of driver affection. The temple is gone, the driver is on.